Hey guys, I'm back this week with my latest read, and this week I read Purple Hibiscus. Ooh. Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm not going to talk to you too much about this author and the background because I did way too much of that last week, but she's written 3 novels, all very well renowned and award-winning. She does short stories. If you like short stories, you should check out Cell 1. It's great. We just did that one in class. And she also does TED Talks. So one of her most famous TED Talks is called We Should All Be Feminists. So very well-rounded in terms of getting her message out to all different kinds of media. The story takes place in Nigeria and is told from the point of view of a 15-year-old girl named Gambili. Gambili lives with her family in Nigeria, which consists of her papa, her mother, and her brother Jaja, who is just a few years older than her. Her family is very wealthy in Nigeria, and you learn very early on that her father is extremely abusive. He's got strict and rigid ideas of what religion and behavior should look like in terms of his wife and his children. And when they don't adhere to those strict ideas, then they are severely punished physically. So their family is pretty wealthy. Well, I shouldn't say pretty wealthy. They're extremely wealthy. He carries a lot of financial weight on his shoulder in terms of supporting a lot of the people in town. Things like paying a lot of school fees for up to 100 children in town. So they want for nothing. Their house is extremely luxurious as well as their way of life. But the thing is that the children are so sheltered that they don't even realize that they are spoiled and that they do have a lot. So you see this awakening and this experience where they're maturing and growing and kind of getting outside of the household throughout the novel. The novel takes place and is told in 4 different parts. It starts off on Palm Sunday, where you have this big event and Jaja rebels against his father. And Gambili tells us that the rebellion probably wouldn't have happened had it not been for their visit to Auntie Mfoma. And I'm so sorry, I have no idea if I'm saying that right. But they go and visit her in a much more modest part of Nigeria. She's a university professor, and when I say modest, I mean no hot water, no running water, electricity is turned off a lot because of the corruption in the government that takes place in this country. So they go and visit them, and they are just opened to all of these different experiences and other ways of life that they hadn't realized really existed. What you also see in this part of the novel is a completely different set of family dynamics. You have her auntie's family, which consists of 3 kids, and they are just kind of raised to challenge each other and speak their minds and really debate and educate themselves on various topics, to question everything. And Gambili and Jaja were raised to really just keep their mouths shut. As a matter of fact, using your voice and growing into your voice is really a huge theme in this novel. So you see these 2 different dynamics of families and how they are kind of pinned against each other, and the children grow from this experience. So I'm not going to give away any spoilers, of course, but the ending was whoa. I was not expecting it. It was so amazing. Little bit sad, just kind of sticks with you, but also so very realistic and just unpredictable. So good stuff. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this novel were going to be the language and how straightforward it is, and the very complex real characters. So first of all, I know I've said in the past that I love the language of the novel and it's unique. This is also unique, but for the very opposite reason. It's not flowery and it's not poetic. It is just extremely straightforward. It's almost as if your narrator is telling you a story about what happened to her, and you're her friend and you're listening to the story. So instead of the author giving you a whole bunch of information about the setting or about the culture or about the experience, you're listening to the story from a 15-year-old girl's perspective, and you feel exactly what the author wants you to feel, but it just happens so organically. So when things happen to her, or she tells you how people treat her, you get the message that Adichie's trying to convey about religion or about politics or about growing up as a friend would, and you react from Gambili because you just get into her headspace and you see it so well. But it's just so simple. I don't know how else to describe it. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this novel is the very real, complex characters. You just really enjoy a lot of them. You feel for a lot of them. I like a lot of the comic relief that Gambili's cousin Amaka offers. I love Auntie Mfioma's spirit, the way that she raises her kids, and their household just seems like such a fun place to be. In terms of literary flaws, I couldn't find any. I enjoyed this book so much. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I just thought it was so brilliant, simple. Whereas the last few novels that I've discussed, I think were more fit for a mature high school reader. I think that anyone could enjoy this book. A very mature freshman for sure, but I think that sophomores, juniors, seniors could all enjoy this book and get a lot out of it. I do have to give you a trigger warning because, as I've mentioned previously, there is some domestic violence in the novel. If that is something that triggers anyone, you might want to steer clear of this one. But I will also say that, again, there's not gory details. There is some social commentary on the politics of Nigeria, on religious fanaticism, but she explores the many different ways in which one can experience religion and what it looks like when people feel oppressed or when people feel like they have to be fit into a certain box. But there's not a lot of preachiness, and there certainly isn't a lot of graphic description in terms of the violent things that are portrayed in the novel. I recommend this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is my first read from Chimamanda Adichie, and I will definitely be reading more. I did enjoy her short story, Cell 1, and this one was just as great. It's a little bit over 300 pages, but because it's so simple and you find yourself so engrossed in the plot that it tends to go by pretty quickly and you just really enjoy it the whole time. So I think for my next book talk, I will do something a little less heavy, might switch it up and do some YA. If you have any recommendations, I would surely appreciate those, so let me know. And until I see you next time, I hope you're reading something great, and thanks for watching. Bye.